From flying without arms to permanently blinding yourself, today we look at 20 women you won't believe. Christina Rey, age 22, has one of the world's biggest lips. She had 100 silicone injections that cost more than $4,000. She got her first lip injection at the age of 17 because she wanted to look like a cartoon character. Arunima Sinha was a national-level volleyball player who had lost her legs when she encountered a group of thieves. She was thrown off a moving train while resisting them. This resulted in the loss of her legs. Even though Arunima became an amputee, she did not allow that fact to slow her down. Arunima became the world's first female amputee to climb Mount Everest. Grace McDaniels, also known as the Mule-Faced Woman, was a freak show star because of her facial deformity. After winning the Ugliest Woman contest in 1935, she became a member of a traveling circus crew. She then made a living as a freak show star. Even though she embraced her facial deformity, Grace never liked having her photos taken. "28-year-old Sarah Uten was the first woman to row solo from Japan to Alaska. Her takeoff location was in Koshi, Japan. Sarah spent 150 days alone at sea and traveled 3,750 miles across the ocean before she finally arrived in the Aleutian Islands. Jessica Cox was born without arms and overcame her disability in the most unimaginable way. She became one of the world's first licensed armless pilot and the first armless black belt holder in the American Taekwondo Association. Jessica's feet are her hands, and she's capable of doing any task with them just as easily as a person would using their hands. A 92-year-old woman from southern China carried an unborn child for over half a century. She had a failed pregnancy and the fetus was never removed from her body. This resulted in a calcified fetus within her body. The 92-year-old lady told reporters that her child had died inside of her in the year 1948. The woman explained that she couldn't remove the fetus was because of the lack of money she had. Lauren Williams from Houston, Texas, claimed to have the longest pair of legs in America. The 26-year-old legs measures at 49 inches from hip to heel. Her long legs could have been from her family's gene pool since they're all 6 feet and taller. "32-year-old Lisa Brown suffers from a superior mesenteric artery syndrome, which is a life-threatening gastrovascular disorder that is slowly killing her. Lisa is starving to death because she physically cannot eat. She weighs less than 90 pounds and the weight continues to drop. Brooke Greenberg was an American female who stopped growing when she was still a toddler. Brooke was physically and cognitively similar to a toddler as she aged. Her estimated height and weight was at 30 inches and 16 pounds. She died at the age of 20. Jo Price is a woman with the ability to recall details of every day of her life since she was 14. She was the first woman to be diagnosed with hyperthalamia. The condition is characterized as an autobiographical memory, which means she has an incredible memory. "27-year-old Wang Fang from China was born with her feet facing backwards. Even with this condition, she stays positive and doesn't allow the disorder to hold her back. She even refused to be categorized as a disabled person and would not accept a disability pension. She's currently working as a waitress. 26-year-old Nif Guinea set out a social experiment on social media to find her own doppelganger. Eventually, she found her doppelganger, named Karen, a 29-year-old. What's most shocking is that they only live 1 hour away from each other in Ireland. From Chicago, Illinois, Kim Goodman has a fascinating ability to pop her eyes out of her eye sockets. She's able to pop her eyes out by 12 millimeters from her eye socket. Her eyes were measured in Istanbul back in 2007 for the furthest eye pop. "27-year-old Kelly DeKay from New York has a 16-inch waist size. For years, she would shrink her waist size wearing a 16-inch steel bone tight lace corset. Her inspiration for this hourglass figure came from a cartoon character called Jessica Rabbit. Shamika Charles is one incredible agile girl that has an insane limboing ability. The 22-year-old started to limbo at the age of 14. She trains up to 6 hours a day. She set a new world record by limboing under a car that was 9 inches above the ground. She's also able to limbo blindfolded while balancing plates in her hands. "23-year-old Hernam Kaur suffers from a condition that causes excessive facial hair growth. The facial hair started to grow when she was just 11 years old. She would encounter bullies that would tease her about her facial hair, which made her extremely self-conscious. At the age of 16, she finally embraced her looks and fully grew the beard out. "18-year-old Christy Swadling is trying to overcome anorexia after nearly dying from malnourishment. She had a long battle with anorexia before her body weight dropped to just 30 kilograms and had to be hospitalized to gain weight. Now on the road towards recovery, she is trying to spread her story in hopes that it will benefit others that are struggling with the same problem. Annie Hawkins holds the record for the world's largest natural breast. She has a bra size of 102 ZZZ, and each breast alone weighs around 25 pounds. Jewel Shuping is a woman who has been struggling with body integrity identity disorder, a condition where the person wants to be disabled. Jewel claimed that with help, she was able to blind herself with drain cleaners. She said that it was her lifelong dream to be blind. Julia Guntho, also known as Zalata. She's the most flexible woman in the world. She's been contorting ever since she was a child at the age of 4. Julia can contort herself in the most extreme poses imaginable. Her contorting abilities had earned her numerous world records and awards.